At my parents' Pearl anniversary bash, the MC tapped the mic and declared, "Anyone holding on to a secret that affects this happy couple, please approach the stage." My mom and dad were marking 30 years of marriage. The Starlight Grand Ballroom was filled to capacity. 200 guests, a cascading champagne tower, a professional string quartet, everyone dressed as if they were attending a high society gala. My mother was wearing a magnificent sapphire blue dress she had purchased in Rome during their European cruise. My father kept showing off his new Patek Philippe watch, joking that 3 decades with the same woman warranted such a costly timepiece. The master of ceremonies, Scott Johnson, a junior partner from my dad's firm whom I'd met maybe once, seized the microphone right after the main course. Seared scallops and saffron risotto sat untouched on most people's plates. "Before we roll out the cake," Scott announced, "I want to try an unconventional tradition. Anyone holding on to a secret that affects this happy couple, please approach the stage." I expected it to be a pre-recorded message from a celebrity or perhaps a well-rehearsed dance routine. I thought perhaps my uncle had flown in from Dubai as a surprise. Instead, I watched my mother's sister, Aunt Carol, rise from her seat at the corner table. Next, my dad's closest college friend, Mark, who had been his best man, stood up near the bar. Finally, my mother's longtime financial advisor, Diane, pushed back her chair at the front. 3 figures walked toward the elevated podium as the faint sounds of cutlery stopped and the massive room went utterly silent. My dad slowly lowered his water glass. "Scott, what in the devil is this?" Scott looked just as bewildered as everyone else. I didn't think anyone would actually respond. Aunt Carol reached the podium first. Her voice trembled noticeably. "Linda, Dave, I am truly sorry. I should have spoken up years ago." She focused her gaze on my dad. "Your father isn't simply retired like you tell everyone. He filed for bankruptcy and has been living in an assisted facility in New Jersey for 8 years. We all knew, your siblings, your mother, the whole extended family. We thought shielding you from his shame was the kindest thing to do." My father's face immediately turned pale. He gripped the edge of the linen tablecloth as if fighting to remain upright. His knuckles were pure white against the dark fabric. "What lies are these?" "We covered his medical bills and signed the non-disclosure agreements," Aunt Carol continued. "Your mother swore us to silence. She said the embarrassment would destroy his reputation." My sister gripped my shoulder. I could feel every eye in the room bouncing between the accusers and my parents. Mark stepped up next, tears already streaking his cheeks. "Dave, I knew you were abusing prescription pills 5 years ago. I saw the empty bottles in your glove compartment at the golf club's parking lot multiple times. I stayed quiet because I thought exposing your addiction would destroy your career, and I didn't want to be the one who ruined your life." My mom sprang up so suddenly her seat crashed to the marble floor. "That was a rough patch, a phase that lasted only a few weeks." "It was 18 months, Dave," Mark said, pulling a stack of papers from his inner jacket pocket. "I have the receipts from the pharmacy, the therapy appointment logs you asked me to cover up when Linda started checking your bank records. The massive withdrawals, the excuses about new golf equipment, the secret clinic visits you claimed were client meetings." The ballroom erupted into murmurs. People were pulling out their devices, some capturing the scene, others simply gaping in disbelief. My dad just stood there, completely stunned, staring at the floor. Diane was the last. She moved slowly, like someone approaching a sentencing. "Linda, I've been manipulating your trust accounts for over a year. $600,000 gone in total. I intended to resign tonight anyway because the SEC is initiating an investigation into the firm next week, and they will uncover everything. I regret it. I tried to replenish the funds, but I couldn't." My mom charged at her. My sister and I had to rush forward and restrain her while Diane backed away, holding her hands up. "You conniving witch! We were friends. You managed my mother's estate." "I know," Diane replied. "I was heavily in debt to a loan shark. I thought I could make a few risky investments to save myself, but it just kept getting worse." My dad finally spoke. His voice was a bare whisper, yet it somehow resonated across the enormous room. 30 years! 30 years of deceit! He slowly reached behind his neck and unfastened his watch. The Patek Philippe he'd just shown off that morning to the early arrivals, making such a production of his devotion. He placed it on the table next to his untouched plate of food. Then he walked toward the main doors without looking back, his tailored suit disappearing into the crowd. My mom called after him. "Dave! Dave, wait! Where are you going?" He kept walking. The ballroom doors closed behind him with a soft thud that somehow sounded louder than any scream. And the next story. The bell for second period had just rung when 3 counselors showed up at our classroom door, holding clipboards and requested a specific student by name, a name that didn't ring a bell for anyone. The entire room went silent. They asked for Jordan Keller, and we all glanced around. Nobody stirred. Our instructor, Mrs. Rivera, scanned her list twice, turning pages quickly, and replied, "No, Jordan Keller is enrolled in this section." The main counselor furrowed her brow, shared looks with her colleagues, and contacted someone via radio. She murmured into her walkie-talkie, then glanced up again. "Room 214, AP Psychology, right?" "Yes, but no pupil with that name is here." They said sorry and departed, seeming truly baffled, muttering among themselves as they vanished along the corridor. Right then, Mia's phone vibrated. She turned ashen, her fingers trembling while she gazed at the display. "It's a mass text to everyone in class." She flipped her screen so we could view it. "Jordan Keller occupied the rear corner seat daily this term. You all overlooked them." I spun my head to check the back corner. Vacant desk, yet a dark blue jacket hung over the chair. A charcoal backpack rested on the ground, half open, plus a pencil pouch and a water bottle covered in decals. How had I missed someone there all along? My gut twisted. More phones began chiming throughout the space, a symphony of alerts. Folks were receiving images texted to them. Yearbook snaps, casual classroom pics from this term, group photos from the autumn dance. There was an individual in each one. Identical figure in every image, rear corner, all frames, dark hair tied in a simple ponytail, blank face, arms folded. "Jordan Keller, verify the role," someone uttered, their voice wavering. Mrs. Rivera loaded it on her laptop, and her expression drained of color. She scrolled deliberately, then paused. "Jordan Keller's been logged as present each day since September. Flawless record. 4 months of ticks. But I've never announced that name in attendance. I have no memory of that kid whatsoever." She appeared on the verge of nausea, then Liam rose abruptly, without permission, and headed to the rear corner desk. The group observed him in utter quiet. He paused, then unzipped the backpack. Within were 5 coil-bound notebooks, various hues, neatly arranged. He extracted one and began leafing through. His eyes bulged. They contained in-depth notes on all of us. Our habits, our chats, our cliques, our hidden stuff, comments we'd made in lessons, who we partnered with, who we snubbed, all penned in impeccable, tidy script with dates and times. The final note was from today, mere 15 minutes prior. Second period, 9:47 a.m. Liam recited it aloud. "You've all flunked the trial. Someone was among you for 4 months, and you never recognized their presence at all. No greeting, no grin, no chat." Jordan Keller was a planted social test by the psych department to examine group behavior in isolation. The door swung open. A person entered. Medium build, dark hair and that familiar low ponytail, dressed in jeans and a maroon sweater. A known face we'd inexplicably never absorbed, never noted, never truly spotted despite staring directly. "Hey, I'm Jordan. You gazed past me 127 times this term." The counselors came to halt the research prematurely since the ethics committee deemed it too harsh as I was displaying real mental strain from being unseen. Jordan produced a manila envelope with printed images, me lifting my hand while Jordan was 2 desks over. Team assignments where Jordan stood in our group but got 0 input in talks. Cafeteria spots where Jordan perched at the edge and we treated the chair as bare, stacking our stuff there. Jordan queuing behind us, totally disregarded. Jordan murmured, "You were observing me throughout, watching how unseen someone gets when a crowd chooses they aren't real." Mrs. Rivera was weeping. "I recorded you as here daily. How did I miss you?" "You didn't," Jordan responded. "Your mind simply figured I wasn't worth recalling." Half the room fell apart. The rest still couldn't wrap their heads around the fact that they'd been there the whole time, overhearing our discussions on social psych while embodying the study. Mrs. Rivera needed to take a seat. The department shared their results 3 days on. Jordan switched schools the following week, and the next story. He slipped into the chair beside me in study hall and whispered, "I chose you on purpose. Just listen before you turn me down." I had no clue what that decision would cost me. His name was Elliot Chen, student council treasurer, debate star, the kid who nailed every speech without breaking a sweat. On the other hand, I was Logan Pierce, perpetual C-average guy who hid in the back row praying no one called my name. So when he unfolded a sheet of paper and pushed it over the table, I figured it was a joke. "I need your assistance," he murmured. "I'll handle your math exams." "You craft my literature papers. 6 weeks, and we both make it through." I gaped at him. "You want me to aid in cheating?" "Not cheating. Teamwork. Smart resource sharing. That's straight up dishonest. It's a win-win scholarly alliance." He pointed at the sheet. "See, I'm flunking literature. You're bombing math. We support one another, or we both forfeit our scholarships." The term scholarship struck hard. I barely snagged a partial one based on grades, and another failure would wipe it out. My folks couldn't cover college fees without it. "Why pick me?" I questioned. "Because you're sharp in my weak spots and needy enough to agree." He had a point. I was 2 weeks from tanking calculus, and my instructor had already emailed the alert to my parents. I glanced at the paper. It was a timetable. Exam days, paper due dates, swap spots. He'd mapped it all out. 6 weeks, he echoed. "Then it's over. Nobody suffers?" I put my name on it. The first week rolled better than I imagined. Elliot arrived for my math test in my hoodie, took my spot, wrapped it up in 20 minutes. I penned his literature piece on symbols in The Great Gatsby, submitted it as his. His mark shot to an A-. My math score rose to a B. No one suspected a thing. By week 2, I spotted the flaws. Elliot texted me late, like midnight or 1 a.m., freaking out over paper ideas, but his notes seemed odd, overly specific, too intimate. What does the green light really mean? Hope or illusion? My father thinks it's the American dream, but that seems simplistic. What's your take? Just type what I say, I'd text back. But what's your opinion? It shifted from cheat codes to real talks about books. I'd never experienced that. In week 3, I discovered his journal in the library. He'd forgotten it on our regular spot, likely hurrying to debate club. Flipping through, I saw versions of the papers I'd done for him but scribbled with his notes. Comments all over, self-questions in the edges, digging into my breakdowns. Why does Logan claim Gatsby's vision is tainted? What proof backs this? He was dissecting my stuff like study material. Why rework all I hand you? I challenged him the next day, dropping the journal on the table. His cheeks flushed. You snooped in my things. You abandoned it there. Answer me. He gazed at his fingers. Because I'm not truly awful at literature. Then why involve me? Because it scares me to death. I paused. My family moved here when I was 6, he said softly. Dad's a professor, Mom's a scientist. They demand excellence in all areas, especially writing. English is their second tongue, and they conquered it, so I can't fail at it. Every essay, I doubt each word until I lock up. I'll type one line and erase it 40 times. So you're using me to remind yourself you can do it. Reading your work shows me what boldness looks like. You don't hesitate. You state your views and back them up. I've been aiming to copy that. I gawked at him. This entire time, you've been learning from my essays? Yeah, and I regret fooling you into it, but I couldn't seek help without confessing my flaws. He grabbed his phone, pulled up files, displayed a fresh literature assignment he'd done solo. No input from me. The score up top, B+. I don't require you now, he admitted. I just needed to quit fearing it. I ought to have been enraged, should have turned him in, turned us both in, but I sensed something different. Tutor me in math, I suggested. He glanced up. Huh? For real now? No shortcuts, no swaps, just teach me. His face changed. You really want to grasp it? Math petrifies me like English does you. Maybe I need someone to prove I can handle it. He grinned. Genuinely grinned for the first time since we began. Fine, but I'm a lousy instructor. I'm a lousy learner. We'll sort it out. After that, we hit the books daily. No pacts, no deals, just 2 guys aiding each other to ditch the fear. And the next story. I picked up the mystery caller harassing my little brother's phone and wound up busting the adult guy posing as his homework coach. My brother Tyler's 13. He's not big in the social scene at school, battles with math big time, and usually holes up gaming solo in his room, door shut tight. So when he dropped at supper 3 weeks back that his fresh online mentor was tutoring him gratis via Discord, my folks were over the moon at last. Somebody's showing real care for Tyler's schoolwork. My mom beamed as she stacked the dishwasher. I barely noticed at first. Tyler's scores really picked up. He acted brighter, more self-assured. He'd trot downstairs raving about how Mr. Ray broke down fractions in a style that clicked, how Mr. Ray got him way better than his real instructors. My parents lapped it up. But last Thursday evening, I grabbed his phone to grab some takeout since mine was out of juice. That's when I spotted them. Tons of unanswered calls from a strange number, all logged past midnight, all while Tyler snoozed and his phone charged in the kitchen per our parents' rules. My gut twisted. I dug deeper. The calls stretched back weeks. Sometimes 2, even 3 a night, always from midnight to 3 a.m. I held off till next morning while Tyler brushed his teeth. Nonchalantly quizzed him on the calls. His cheeks flushed deep red. He clammed up defensive right away. It's only Mr. Ray. He dials to make sure I wrapped up my assignments before crashing. At midnight, though? I pressed. He pulls night shifts. He's super kind. Actually gives a damn about my marks. It smelled off. I probed further. How'd you link up? Via a study aid channel. He want cash? Nope. He gifted me a gaming headset last week, even sprang for express delivery so it'd land by weekend. I felt queasy. That evening, I sneaked into Tyler's Discord during his hoops practice. I know, privacy breach, but I needed the truth. Mr. Ray wasn't purely on math duty. Chats dated back 6 weeks. Kicked off straight-laced with algebra breakdowns, learning hacks, then eased into personal stuff. How's your day going? Spill on your buddies. When do your folks roll in from jobs? They snoop on your PC. You're super grown up for 13. Most teens your age blow off studies. Your parents hit the jackpot with a kid like you. Textbook grooming tactics. Forging bonds, fostering reliance, cutting him off. Then the note from 2 days prior hit me like ice. Your folks don't get you like I do. They fixate on scores. I spot the true Tyler. Real guides don't stick to screens. They connect with pupils in person. Big gaming event at the Downtown Expo Center this Saturday. Snag tickets for us both. VIP spots. We can play all day. Just the two of us. Tyler's reply from yesterday. Sounds epic. Stoked to meet you at last. I snapped shots of it all. Flashed them to my parents pronto. Dad hardly glanced from his screen. Likely just some senior kid from elsewhere pitching in. Online chatter's all like that these days. Dad, he's 40-some years old, ringing a 13-year-old at 2 a.m. Mom seemed uneasy but waffled. We can't humiliate Tyler. What if this guy's legit helpful, and we slam him with awful claims? I was stunned. This dude had wormed into my brother's chats for 6 weeks, had his digits, knew his routine, aimed to link up live, and they figured watch and wait. So Friday night, I swiped Tyler's phone mid-shower, fired up Discord. Messaged as him. Hey, Mr. Ray, we still on for tomorrow? Ping back in under a minute, you bet. Been ticking off the hours. Dying to meet you face to face, Tyler. Pack your laptop and that fresh headset. Whole afternoon's ours, you and me. My throat tightened. I backtraced the emergency number he'd slipped Tyler. Not Mr. Ray, no uni kid. A 41-year-old named Dennis Kozlowski. Pair of prior busts, listed offender, barred by law from kid gigs or school zones. I bolted to the cops. The officer scanned the text, face hardening. Classic grooming, he stated. But we gotta catch him in the act. Tyler had greenlit the meet. I subbed in. Saturday, 2 p.m. by the Expo Center. 2 plainclothes cops close by. I donned Tyler's sweatshirt and texted, here now. Where to link? At 2:47, he strolled up, button-down shirt, jeans, gaming headset bagged, eyes hunting for a 13-year-old. And now for the next one.